All right, what's good, everybody? We are back with another installment, another episode, another edition, another version of the Tendo Show. And today we're going to be talking about the job market. Now, I talked a little bit about this before. Last time I told the story about this guy who got laid off. He applied to 1,600 different places before finally getting a response, and the response was, hey, we got a job for you, but we want you to take less, and we can't guarantee you employment beyond 6 months. It was all he had. And it's very unfortunate because those numbers are continuing to become, that story is continuing to become more of a commonplace. We're seeing it more and more often. Today, I'm going to be talking about Oracle. Oracle, led by Larry Ellison, recently announced that they are laying off 30,000 people. Now imagine, it's a typical workday. You get up a little bit early, around 4 a.m., and you get this email that says you've been laid off. We don't need you anymore. And you've been working at the company for 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. And you're like, okay, what do I do now? I've been hearing about this, but not me. That's the situation that a lot of people have found themselves in. And I can empathize. I don't think that it's good news in the slightest. I don't think that's anything that people want to find themselves in, any situation that anybody wants to find themselves in. But I'm also of the mindset, what do we do now? What is the next step? Because I think a lot of people need to hear not tough love, but a clear, actionable response on what's actually happening in this world today. I'm not going to go too long here, but I am going to try and hit a couple notes that I think will be helpful for you if you find yourself in the situation or if you are nervous about the situation, because my prediction is that this is going to be happening more and more. And this transition between the world of old and the world of new is going to be very contingent on how you take this information and how you take action on this information that I'm about to present. So I've been following a lot of different voices in this job space. I see it on TV happening more. I see it on the internet, of course. And a lot of people are talking about what is going to happen to the future of jobs, the future of work. And I think it's incredibly important for us to understand what a job is. A job is how we expend energy. That's work. Work is how we expend our energy. Everybody has a certain amount of energy that they carry around in this world. A job is how we use our energy to accomplish the tasks of another person or another company, which we might call an employer. Now, for most of our lifetimes, because we all have been born after the Industrial Revolution, we're used to the only form of work being through, or the main form of work being through a job. We go to the big employer of our town, of our city, and in more recent history with tech companies globally. And they say, hey, we're going to offer you this paycheck, these benefits, and this level of security. And that's great because we could plan around that, and that's what we were used to. As of late, it's become less reliable because this whole thing with AI has been stirring the pot. It's been causing businesses to start thinking, how do we make the most of this new technology? How do we satisfy the people that own this company? That's what a shareholder is, the people that own the company. And so as a reflex, it's not always the right reflex, but as a reflex, they're starting to say, okay, well, it can make our top performers more efficient. What if we let some of the less performing individuals go? What if we let go of the roles that we don't necessarily need anymore? And that's just the nature of the business. That's just the nature of companies. Right or wrong, it's real. And in this video that I'm recording here, and on this podcast at large, and in life at large, I want to keep it real. I want to keep it a buck. I don't want to lie. I don't want to call things as I see it, because I believe that if we do that, then we can respond accordingly. But if we try to mask that, it becomes a lot more difficult to be actionable and put ourselves in a situation that doesn't benefit us. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm talking about this. Right or wrong, these are my thoughts. I've been working in AI for some time, as you may or may not know. I started at a fintech company, and I worked there building AI systems. And after I built a lot of the systems there, I realized, oh, this is going to be something that affects more than just this company. I mean, this isn't indicative of the company at the whole, but I talked with a few managers at the time, and they were very keen on getting rid of the people that they didn't feel needed to be there. They were trying to downsize and become more efficient. I don't believe getting rid of people is always the most efficient way of executing a job, but I do believe that a lot of people think that, and I do believe that numbers can prove that. I mean, numbers can prove a lot. But I'm also of the mindset of a certain guy named Henry Ford, who understood that employing the people and putting them in a position to buy the product is a very powerful way of doing business. Not everybody believes that. It was a different time. He's not 100% right. I know it. But my point being is that this is where we find ourselves. This is the situation. And so what are we going to do about it? Well, the first thing I want to bring past your mind is the idea of becoming more skillful. I'm a person that believes in skill. I'm a person that believes that being a person that becomes skillful, you'll be able to put yourselves in different rooms. And I believe the best way of becoming skillful is following your interests. But before we get into that, I want to talk about just what a skill is. Just give it a core definition so that way we can be on the same page as we're moving forward. Again, I want to be helpful. So a skill is a task or an action that you can repeatedly do with precision and predictability. It can be a very complex task. It can be a very simple task. If you can turn a complex task into a simple task, then that's all the better. But being able to develop and define a skill set is the thing that you need to be doing. Just take inventory of your life. Take inventory of the time and how you spend it, because that's going to be a critical thing in this world moving forward. Whether or not the job market surges up, whether or not it doesn't and you have to find something else to do, becoming skillful in being able to develop and define your skill set is critical no matter what, because it allows you to have an offering. It allows you to offer something to the world, and that's what will make you valuable in any situation, is having a very clear, defined, and developed skill set. I'll give you an example. I graduated with my economics and finance degree. I majored in economics and finance. While I was there, I developed a skill in coding. I did this in my spare time. I learned how to code, and I want you to guess which one took me further. It was the skill set, because it was tangible. It was something that people could understand and see. Although there are skills in finance and economics, they're just less tangible. But my point being is that the more that you can define this skill set of yours, the better, because this will put you in a situation where other people can see that skill set. And if they need you to do something, then you can say, I got you. This is extremely helpful if you can also take inventory of your interests, because your interests are basically your predispositions for where you put your focus. Now, some of y'all need to really take inventory of your interests, but for the most part, there are people that you're somebody that's out there that's doing something, whether it's how you're spending your time at work or in your free time, that could be value to somebody else. A good place to start would be asking yourself, what do I find myself doing easier than other people? And it doesn't even have to be crazy. Just look to your family members where they're repeatedly asking you for help. Well, that's something that you might become skillful at. And it could be anything from how good you are at mowing the lawn, how good you are at tinting windows, how good you are at cooking a dish, or setting up and configuring software, running social media as a skill set. There are other people in your world that don't know how to use social media as good as you. But you think about that? That's a really powerful thing, a really powerful insight, especially if you're young. You can take your knowledge and skill set and help other people in areas that they're less proficient at. This is a service-based world that we're moving into. That's the backbone of what it means to be an entrepreneur, to do things to prevent risk. Look it up. So when you do things to prevent risk, that's the first part. But the next thing is like, what things do I do? Well, you do things that you're interested in, that you're skilled in, that you have experience in, and you do them for other people. And that's how you create an offer. And when you can create an offer and you can give this offer to, and you can go to people and say, hey, I can do this thing for you. I'm starting a business. Here's how much I charge. How willing are you to get rid of that thing that's causing you pain or that's taking up too much of your time? Because I can help with that. We only have a finite amount of time. And some people will say no. Most people will say no. That's something to be prepared for. But the idea is getting into that habit and flexing that muscle, because you'll find that the ceiling is unlimited when you can do that. And you'll find that that's really where the wealth is. And so while a lot of people are really scared right now because they don't know what to do next, and because they're addicted to having one job and having everything provided by this one job, you have been given the gift of this video, and you can take a step in another direction and explore other areas. And I'll even go further. Even if you get this other job, you should still be exploring these other areas, so that way you can create a place where you can rebound more easily. So I don't want to go too long in this video. I'm going to bring it home with my offering to you. I've created a platform called Constance.com, and on Constance.com, we make it very easy for you to create offers that align with your interests, your skills, and your experience. And the only thing that I'm asking for is that you like this video, that you subscribe, and that you share this with somebody else who might be in a situation like you, or that you just take action on it. I'm saying these things, but at the end of the day, I'm just saying it. It means nothing if you don't learn from that. And on this channel, learning means changing your behavior. So if you're not changing your behavior, if you're not actually taking action on this, then, well, you just wasted your time. Well, you didn't waste your time because you learned something and you could forward this to somebody else, and you could use this in the future. You might find yourself wanting to use this in the future if you're not using it right now. But Constance.com, it helps you make an offer. All I want is that you try out what I'm saying, you pass it along to a friend, and you subscribe for more, and you give me your feedback on how this is working out for you. It's been real.